We're here.
Well, hey, everybody. I saw that we have quite a few people out here already in the chat. I changed the chat overlay, tweaked it a little bit so that way it looks a little... when I wear my busy shirts that you tell me, that it doesn't block it as much. So we've got some great folks here already. Laura, Kel, Jamie's already here. Nice to see you, Ro. Hey, Lauren. And this particular time, we are joined by a special guest, by special guests as well. And yes, you are correct. There is a new update. Ooh, new update. Yeah, I just decided I would tweak it a little bit. You guys let me know if it's all right. So the Redstone Alorian, hello. So anyways, we are here to talk about Monsters at Work. Season 1, Episode 3, The Damaged Room. So this is actually, hey Pete, Peter, don't know if you prefer one or the other. And so this is a kind of like, even though again we always say we're walking that fine line of talking about monsters at work, I like to also think of it as it's great practice for us for when so hey Brendan, when the next series... The series is come up again, so Doug Days and Cars series that's going to be coming. So I think it's going to be a great thing to get this rhythm down of doing the weekly show and everything like that. But as I mentioned, yes, Jamie coming in, Episode 3 was better than 1 and 2, and you are absolutely correct.
100% right.
We've got a lot to talk about, but before we get there, I want to introduce our guests for this evening, none other than our friends Ashley and Giovanni. Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Yes, we are thrilled to have you guys on. I'm going to go to our split screen view, and we already prefaced it that we got to get extra cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope everybody likes a lot of faces in a row.
Yeah.
So, but yes, what a great episode. Again, if you didn't see the end of our Turning Red discussion, we talked about the fact that we're going to be doing these discussions for Monsters at Work on Thursdays. So stay tuned every Thursday as the new episodes hit, as we're going to be talking about these. And we decided that just because of all the other, we wanted to let people watch it. And then Loki, and Loki's wrapping now, but still, it's still, we just figured Thursday is a good thing that we can do here. So, okay, Peter said something. Oh, Peter, we are going to talk about the organ rendition of the Monsters theme was... I'm going to start there because Peter brought it up. That is my favorite part of that episode. Okay, something... If you guys remember way back, and it's okay if a cat comes in, we love cats.
Yeah.
You guys, if you remember way back when we first started streaming... My background was a picture of a baseball that I took and had a baseball bat that was from the Louisville Bat Museum that I had got when I had gone there. And that picture was a ball that I took I took a picture of that ball the day Ernie Harwell died, which I will talk about all this stuff. Speaking of great announcers, another great, amazing thing happened in this episode. But as far as baseball fans go, this was an amazing episode. I loved every minute of it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashley, Giovanni, what did you guys think at a top level? Did you guys like this particular episode?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a favorite so far.
Of the three to choose from, it's hard to say, this is the best one. It's weird to say this is the best one, but I was thinking that.
I was too, because it was I don't want to say by far, but I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. The show
all
felt
the
like...
Duncan was amazing in this one.
Oh, yeah.
So many people were awesome in this one.
Yeah, without a doubt. The characters were great. We didn't really get... We got some new of the baseball characters, and, as we had in the image that's the teaser for this review... I'm quite the fan of T.J. Clausen.
Oh, I knew you, right? Yeah, when he heard that, we're like, oh, I bet he is just like, yes!
I found it to be a home run. Oh, dad jokes.
Yes.
So, I don't think this is meant to be an Easter egg by any means, but Dan Scanlon, the director, is from Clawson, Michigan. I know it works perfectly well. It's almost like he was destined to do a Monsters movie with like being from Clawson.
yeah.
But hey, I'll take it as it was. In my head, I want it to be a nod to Dan. I know it's probably not, but I want it to be, so I'm going to make it so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the second time we've seen Clawson in the show already. Because in that, was it the first episode, Duncan's reading that magazine and it says Clawson on the front too. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Yes. I was so happy they continued the keeping Mike covered in photographs when he got a picture with TJ Clawson.
Yeah.
So awesome. And I have to laugh. Laura, she's posting Ludo, trying to autocorrect, I presume, Luxo. Ashley and Gio's cat isn't Luxo. Which one was that?
That was Riley.
Maybe that's not. Maybe that's not even what. Geez, I'm scrolling down and catching up. What'd you think of the name TJ Clawson? I gotta catch up to my. Yes, especially my hometown announcer Bob Euchre. So you must be from Milwaukee, I have to assume, Kel, because Bob Euchre is. Yeah. So dang autocorrect. Bob Euchre is he is definitely one of the best radio announcers across any sport.
You recognized it like right away. We were both like, well, I mean,
how can you not?
Yeah, because we were both like Major League.
Yes, so he was Harry Doyle in Major League. I mean, if anybody knows that movie, the movie Major League, Charlie Sheen, a bunch of other Tom Berenger, a whole bunch of other people. I mean, he's the announcer that's like just a bit outside. Ball 4, ball 8, ball 12, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches. I love baseball, so I was thrilled to see this episode. Can you tell?
No, not at all.
So being a non-baseball fan, I really appreciated it because I liked all the, like, it wasn't really like gags, but I felt like we really got personal. We got personal with like Mike getting attached to Snore. We got attached to Tylor and Val, their story together.
Yeah, they finally were melding a little bit more. Tylor was coming together with her.
I really, really loved that at the very end.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, gosh, she is just like saying like all these things. And I'm like, is she just making it up? Does she think that that's really him? And it really was because he was nice to her. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a nice tender moment, but it made me wonder, did he just remember like the interaction or did he actually remember her?
No, I think he remembered her.
Why was he playing it so...
I think because he just is so upset that he's not a scarer.
Yeah, maybe he was just playing it off because he's just still bummed that he's in that role and he's just trying to distance himself from MIFT as much as possible at the moment. But we all know he's going to fall in love with it.
Of course. Yeah, if he didn't, that would be silliness.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. We've got lots of stuff we can talk about. Again, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the characters, some of the vocal acting. I'm going to talk about some of my standout like dialogue moments, things that may be Easter eggy and some that are Easter eggs. Some more baseball talk just because I want to and I'm gonna. And then we'll go through some of the plot points. So what did you guys think of how it opened? So it opens with the parents putting the kid to bed. This is where the little princess sleeps here. Mm-hmm. So what did you guys think about the opening of how it started with Flem coming in the door?
Oh, just like a great callback to the first movie. Just seeing that's as we saw at the end of the first one too, that was his gig that he kept using. So it's great to see him in that room and he's got kids that his regulars and whatnot, which I really like how they did that. Like they say we can't get rid of this door because this is like a very important room. Yeah, like there's a reason why we don't just shred it. Like I love that. But that was a great opening for the episode.
Yeah, what about like throwing the jacks? I love how it's just like you said, he's like setting it all up. He throws the jacks in, rolls the skateboard in, and the bottom of the skateboard, what was on the bottom of it?
Oh, jeez, I didn't even
look. He saw
the bottom of the skateboard. It says okay. It's an Uzma Kappa skateboard.
Oh my!
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know.
So he rolls that in there, and then he gets going in. He's all like, da, 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 da. He's like, I'm coming to work. I got my best giggler in the house. So then, yeah, he sneezes. I was not aware. I don't think we've never seen anything before that that Flem's phlegm was toxic.
Radioactive.
Yeah, now we know why his friends call him Flem.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he always have this cold? Did they like dig this out that it was like some actual like character trait or something? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Love the callback with phlegm, absolutely. So sneeze melts the wall. Oh, okay. This one also gave me like really good vibes to the series overall as well. So when we Celia goes and is like, we gotta get a hold of MIFT. And she puts the note in the pneumatic tube, like at a bank, throws it on the thing and sends it up. Like, I loved that whole wacky design of like the pneumatic tubes. It comes to the interchange like a train track, and it's like chunk, 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 and then spits it through. And then that cuts. It's just so many good cuts in this one too. Like reasons to want to go from scene to scene. The AB story is great of, they just got to fix the room while Mike and Sulley are off at the baseball game. But good direction and good cutting on this. So now it goes to Fritz. He is in the MIFT offices going to do, footsie. I think he would have Fritz footsie ball. Yeah. So he's going to click that. And do we remember what the code is for a damaged room? Ashley.
418?
Yes! Wait.
Right?
So we've got a 418, which is a damaged room. Good as well that, it gets to like not only let the audiences in on it, but you get to see that Tylor is still learning things. He's at his desk with his David name tag still. Flem's phlegm is dangerous.
Cutter comes in.
Oh, okay.
And talks about another employee who is no longer there.
Okay, so that's a little bit further down, isn't it? But
it's pretty close.
Well, that's when they get to the point where he wants to. Oh man. Okay, so let's just talk about it. So Cutter zips into frame, and she says, "Jimmy, where's my notes on Jimmy?" Ah, yes.
Yeah, you have to get your hard hat, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want it."
Tylor, I don't need a helmet. That's the last thing Jimmy said. He was a temp. Went on a 418. Forgot his helmet. Family dog showed up. Thought he was a chew toy. And then Val says tragic, and she comes back. Awesome line. I had his dented helmet bronzed if you want to see it. So good. Which
Jimmy. That every line she has, she is really good. She is definitely like a standout.
Like seriously, later on in the episode when she's doing her, I got my union break and I got a date with a hot steak and rye. Like seriously, like, and how if you listen to how she delivers them, Elena Ubach is so good.
She is very awesome.
There are certain people that are really nailing it with the delivery, and she is, so Jimmy. Oh, I just want to know, I really, truly hope that this never ends. I really hope that every episode...
I think they will. It's awesome.
I love in sitcoms or anything that's a carry-on gag that keeps going. It makes it so much better. So there's another thing that I kind of noticed. Ro, everything Cutter says is just gold. She's my favorite so far. Yeah, and I remember, Ro, you had said last time you don't really tend to like that style of comedy, but the way it's delivered and how she's doing it is selling you by far. This one came up with so how many people died on the job at MIFT during Cutter's career? The comment ended up going to a different one. They're in trouble because of the game. Okay, so yes, we'll come back to that. But the other thing I want to switch to real quick is, what did you think of like this episode from like an animation and lighting standpoint? Anything stand out?
Nothing really stood out that I can pinpoint or whatever. I thought this episode flowed dialogue-wise more
really
so
well
than the other two.
Yeah.
Especially like the MIFT characters. Like when Duncan showed up all of a sudden, I thought,
in
wow,
the room.
that like flowed seamlessly, and just the banter between them all, Cutter leaving. I thought the dialogue with the MIFT crew really was like flawless. That's the thing that stood out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely did. I think, that kind of goes along with, in a little ways, kind of what I was saying as far as just that it, each story kind of bounced back and forth. Mm-hmm. So I like that what you're saying too, as far as that it just, in general, just worked and flowed really well. I think from a visual standpoint, the one thing that I noticed was that it was the lighting seemed to have more intention in this one. So, I like the fact that we had more extremes in this. So we had the dark child's room at night. And I think that lends itself really well, obviously, to CG. That's why so many CG movies are dark. And have dark scenes. It just looks so much cooler with all the specular highlights and everything. But then, even the baseball game, I felt like, okay, this is lit by daylight and stadium lights that are filling in the gaps here. I feel like the first two episodes, I never really felt like consistently the light was perfection. And I feel like this episode, the lighting was a lot stronger. I feel like the animation in general was stronger on this. Did you guys feel that?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about even when Flem comes out of the door and they're in office hour lighting, I would say, on the laugh floor. I feel like that lighting in that scene, because you can recreate the sets as well as you can, which they did phenomenally. That the laugh floor feels great, but then the lighting feels so matched to the first film of that scene. When they're going in, just everything, like certain lights, the way they're hitting the characters, everything. I think that was like a standout shot when it came to lighting. That sequence right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know why. I just felt like the animation was a little smoother. Sulley still had some of those moments where you're kind of like, that was a little different, but Mike was on point again.
Those animators are doing their homework. Every pose, everything he's doing, I'm like, my gosh, they're nailing it.
Yeah, they're freaking out the whole time because everybody knows that Mike is his favorite, and he's just like, man, it's just like watching Monsters Inc. back in 2001.
It really is. When Mike's on the screen, I really feel like, they just nailed it. So.
And again, for anybody that hasn't known, Giovanni has a degree in animation, works in
animation.
How do you want to say it?
VFX.
Okay, you're in VFX now.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, you have a little, like, we can say it looks like it feels like it, but to have like someone that's like has the knowledge of it gives it a little more credibility. So I think that's like strong, coming from your perspective. Lara is also saying, I feel like the lighting in Sulley's eyes on this one felt a lot more cobalty blue than normal. I compared it with MIMU and concluded it's definitely kind of a different kind of lighting there.
You said the blue eyes.
Sulley. Oh yeah, it's like his eyes are so blue.
Yeah, I feel like in general with Sulley, like we kind of talked about before, the sim, his hair is not as flowy, his fur is not as flowy as it was, and then definitely like they've punched him up. He feels the most different. And it's coming across, too, we talked about it a little bit last time as well. I think some of it is John Goodman is delivering those lines a little differently than he has in the past.
But that's like audio rather than visual. Like you're saying, like visually.
But I'm just saying, like, in general, as Sulley as a character, he feels the most varied to me, whereas Mike is so darn close.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, because you could go as far as say is that because the performance will change an animator, I think, with the way they animate a shot. So,
absolutely.
If Billy's delivering his lines like he always has, you're going to get like that classic Mike. But so.
Yep. So let's see. What else do we want to kind of go to as far as the raising the stakes? I thought the story was good with raising the stakes with, having the first close call with the parents. So now Tylor and Val are back in the room. And they're like, we're going to need Cutter for this. The parents, they're like, just the stream of light on their faces. Should we check on the baby? No, we can't check on her every time there's a little noise. And so they're just freaking out. So that's like a good, like, set the stage for what's coming next.
I did love that scene. I thought that was awesome.
So the other character trait that I kind of talked about it. I talked about it last time, that I didn't understand why Tylor was kind of bumping into everything with his horns. Mm-hmm. I still question why he would be loud with the tape, clumsy falling over the desk, if he's like this top peak scare. He's breaking Sulley. I still have a problem that he broke Sulley's record. And that's why I'm being super critical of him, because I'm like, he's breaking all these records. I know it's awkward, but he's in a kid's room now.
But see, he's still just graduated. I still feel like the clumsiness and the tape, that has nothing to do with the scare.
Okay.
Like, that
that
didn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah. You could go as far as to say, again, he just like does not want to be there, so he's just like ripping up this tape, being like, all right.
Purposely do a bad job.
All right, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. I'm just being overly critical because I'm still hurt. I'm still hurt from him breaking Sulley's record in school. So,
he's taking it personally.
I am taking it personally. Sulley and Mike are my guys. Can't do that. I thought it was cool that that Mike named the baby Snore as well, in the same way that they named Boo. Mm-hmm. And I was happy to hear that they at least brought it up. That they were like, oh yeah, he's here's, you remember what happened with Euchre and the Bagley? Yeah. Are they speaking English? So yeah, I thought that was cool.
that they did that gag too. We're working on a play.
Oh yeah, that they are like, at the baseball game. Yeah. It's like essentially like the we're being quiet while everybody's here. So Brendan's asking, why do you think the monsters go to the effort to repair the rooms instead of leaving it to the parents? Probably just because they've got that. I assume they have some kind of code that essentially says they need to keep their world secret. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so if
they want to use that door more, so
that's right. They would have had to shred the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said that was just too good of a door to shred.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, it might be on a case-to-case basis. Maybe in some instances they're like, this one's not producing anymore, or this kid's aging out. Let's just, burn the door anyways, or grind it up, so.
Burn the door.
Kids.
Yeah. And now that they know they're not toxic anymore, maybe they're like, probably before they were like, shred it, get rid of it. Now they're like, oh, we'll keep it around.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, so now we get the kickoff into the baseball side of things. So Sulley comes into the office. We got tickets to the baseball game. I don't think you can go because you're babysitting. And you get the teams, the Monstropolis Creepies versus the Boozetown Red Sox. So obviously a playoff of the Boston Red Sox. And I love it even more that the balls get hit into the outfield.
Against the green monster.
And a big green monster pops up. Because, in the outfield of Fenway Park is the wall of the green monster.
Oh wow!
I did not know that.
So yes,
no idea.
So here's where we get to talk baseball for a minute and see like some of how
that's like one of the only stadiums that they manually put up like numbers for the score.
Yeah, the scoreboard is still like a manual scoreboard where they're like inserting like the hard numbers and everything for like the run counts. But what's cool about it is that it's also the oldest original stadium that's still up right now. So Fenway Park was 1912. I'm going to go out on a limb there. But the Green Monster, they put it up because after they built the stadium, the left field outfield is a relatively short outfield. So players could have just been dinging home runs left and right. And so they were like, how are we going to tackle this? We already built it. We can't really just shove it out further. So they're like, just build a huge wall. And they just made it all green. And so they called it the Green Monster. And so I absolutely loved it. When the ball was going to go out, it was far enough, but it wasn't high enough because the Green Monster got up and they hit off of him.
Yep.
The only thing that I wondered, though, is I didn't know why his number was 47. So that I was like, are they going to put 12 on it? Or like, it's either 1912 or 14, but I didn't know if they were going to put like 12 on it for his number. I'm like, what's the significance of him being number 47? I tried to think of everything I could for the Green Monster and 1947 or 47 in any realm. So, yeah. So, anyways, Tia, did anybody else's parental instincts kick in? Was Mike feeds the baby? He's probably a little over a year old and a rot dog.
I was more worried about how that baby ate that rot dog so fast.
I know.
Yeah.
You can't feed a human baby a rot dog. And he's like, yeah, you can. He just does it. Yeah. And I also love, here's the writing of the tie-in here. They said, when he was saying, it doesn't matter that I called her Snore, gave her that nickname. It could be, it's any inanimate object. It could be a stapler, and the stapler, he says, I'll take care of it, click, click, is when he's going to cut away. So he's already teased that he could have named her Stapler, and he uses the stapler to staple on the paper plate where he draws the eye on, like, her outfit. So it was just like, I could call her anything, a stapler, da-da-da, and he's like, I'll fix it, enter stapler. It was just, okay, fine.
Yeah, that's reaching far.
Was that one a stretch?
Yes.
All right. Yes, Brendan, loved the jokes about the rot dog turning fresh, and he had to and Duncan, when he came back in, had to get a breath of stale air when he came back in the
when they were trapped.
The laugh floor. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he ate it like it was spaghetti. I think my rot dog's gone fresh. Okay, so the other thing that we hear with the baseball reference is you also get Bob Euchre. We touched on it a little bit, but I had to go down the rabbit hole and talk a little bit about Bob Euchre, too. So Bob Euchre was a player first. He was a catcher. Then he's a radio broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers since 1971. The dude is 87 right now, and he still is broadcasting for the Brewers. He's been an actor in TV shows and movies. This dude has had a career. And the fact that they got him, Johnny Carson nicknamed him Mr. Baseball. The fact that they got Mr. Baseball to do this voice, I was over the moon. And Billy Crystal is a known baseball fanatic. So it's like so cool that this episode was able to happen. I'm sure Billy loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was probably, So, probably like, you want to do Monsters at Work? We got a baseball episode.
Yeah. They probably led with this episode.
Yeah. They're like, we're thinking about doing one. I wondered if they could have found a way, because Billy Crystal's favorite team is the Yankees, and so being from New York and everything, I wondered if he had any influence, because there's that rivalry between the Yankees and the Red Sox, if he was like, let's make it against the Red Sox in some way.
Well, what year was Billy Crystal born?
Ooh, I don't know. Hey Siri, what year was Billy Crystal born? Before 47.
Billy Crystal was born on March 14th, 1948.
48.
Wow.
Darn it. That would have been amazing if it was 47. But they wouldn't have slapped his name on something from the Red Sox. He would have been against that. But in terms of baseball announcers, I'm just going to throw one out here, and you're gonna roll your eyes, but I got to talk about him. Ernie Harwell is the greatest baseball announcer of all time, in my opinion. Bob Euchre's amazing, but Ernie Harwell was the announcer for the Detroit Tigers. And to this day, Ernie Harwell is the only radio broadcaster who was traded for a player. That's how good of a broadcaster he is. Just keep that in mind. So don't ever argue against Ernie Harwell being the greatest. And man, radio broadcasters. Can I get a shout out for radio broadcasters? I'm just going to give that I mean, in terms of like baseball, radio is the way to go. I mean, it's just, they put the best broadcasters in radio. I mean, the fact that you still got Bob Euchre doing this, if anybody hasn't watched Major League, you must do it. Okay, I'll move on from baseball now. Except for that ending credits again, which
especially at the end when he says,
he's got a closing line.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, so Bob Euchre has. So again, we mentioned in the last discussion that at the end of every episode, after the credits run, there's always a vocal call out. Mm-hmm. And what does he say at the end of that? Oh boy. So that's our broadcast for tonight. So long, everybody. You've been listening to the Creepies Radio Network, and I'm Bob Euchre. Love it. So so after every episode, be sure to listen. You're gonna get one call out. But yeah, I wished that it was on the soundtrack. I need that version of the Monsters Inc. theme as the baseball organ. Well,
you better talk to Dominic.
I'm gonna have to talk to Dominic and see if he did that one.
Honestly, you take any theme and make it a baseball organ version, it's an automatic win.
That is true.
Yeah. You really do. You hear it and you're just like, this is great. So hearing the Monsters one.
It is funny. It does like kind of just make you smile.
It does.
It's like hearing Ragtime Piano. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, Ragtime Piano is another one that always makes you smile. Like when you're at Disney and you're by Casey's and they're doing their whole thing. And yeah, that's always great. Okay, speaking of organs, the first organ at a baseball game, April 26, 1941, at the Chicago Cubs Wrigley Field.
We don't need to know any of these baseball facts.
I know, but it made me so happy. Okay. Whew. All right, so we got the Green Monster. The staples. How do they fix a room? I'm going to go back to fixing the room. How do they fix a room if there's not thunder when they have to do the nail gun?
You're just not supposed to think of that, but yes, I did think of that. Though.
Well, that was a good, that was cool to, that they used what was going on in the environment. Thank you, CGS 891 coming in, having seen Parental Guidance. Billy Crystal plays a baseball announcer. Whew. When's the podcast episode coming out? Yes, we interviewed Dominic Lewis, and we're going to talk a little bit about the music as well as episode 4 at the end of this, but probably this week. This week or this weekend?
Next week. We'll do it this weekend.
Okay. All right. We'll do it. We'll do it in post. Okay.
Because tomorrow we can't. Saturday we can't. So Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. I guess it is already Friday tomorrow. Yeah. Holy cow! Where is my week going?
Flying by.
I know. It's crazy. Okay. So, all right. What did you guys think? Ashley and Giovanni. What did you guys think when they're like, "Oh, it's time for my union break"? Like, who takes a break right there?
That was so awesome.
I thought it was hilarious. I don't know. What'd you think?
I thought it was great because there's those folks that are always like, oh, it's lunch, I'm going to lunch. So,
even though there's a disaster happening.
Yeah, it's literally emergency.
I'm owed my lunch right now.
Yeah. Well, time for my union break, and that's where we get that line we talked about.
Kind of just goes to show that maybe this is like a common occurrence that they're just fixing rooms like that all the time. So they're just like, we'll get to it, we'll finish. We got the whole night to do it.
Yeah, that's true because she's so calm and casual. She's seen too much, I think. She's seen too much. Yeah, between the accidents maybe there's too many accidents on the job because she's slacking. Tia also jumps in with glad to hear Billy Crystal being able to sing songs for the show. We got 2 songs by him already. Makes me wonder if we'll get a John Goodman single in the near future. I don't think so, actually. I kind of wonder if they would have had that on the soundtrack. I feel like that would have been a soundtrack worthy moment to have John Goodman singing a song. But since it wasn't on there, that's the only reason I say that. So Jonathan, you mentioned this a couple times. So the animation is so different from Pixar's norm, and somehow it just worked. So about the animation in general, the one thing that Giovanni, maybe you can help me understand this. Just because I don't understand how it works. But some of the motions and movements are a little, they look different. They're a little choppier, and I don't want to say that in a bad way, but it almost looks like some of the in-betweens when they do their keyframes they don't put as many there or something. Like even when Mike goes and picks up Snore from the bed, it just feels different. Is there something that is with that or about that when it comes to animation?
No, I mean, the only thing I could think of is that TV animation has just a faster turnaround. And I know, because you have great animators working on these, but they may just have to get it out a lot faster, because you think of a Pixar feature and you hear some animators will work on shots for multiple weeks, but these animators may only have a couple days to do a shot, maybe just to get it out. turnaround and whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely just. I mean, that could be the only reason. It may sort of look. Yeah.
Does that mean essentially that as far as like the keyframes they're making, they can't make like a mark like here, 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 here. They just have to make it here and here. Or
it's possible just for speed. I don't know why. Do you think that the frame like there was like less amount of frames per second? Like
like it feels like when some of them are moving, there's like a drop of something. Like it's almost like it's like. Like just a little bit, I don't know how to describe it. It's just different. And this is where, my not understanding how the animation actually is happening and like what's happening in the computer is limited. So yeah, that's where I feel like it's a little different. Maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's the rigs don't have as many controls. I don't know. I agree with you 100%. They don't get the amount of time, they don't get the budget. And I know that the animators are stellar as well. That's not any issue. I'm just wondering, like visually, what could be causing those types of things in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like the articulators didn't get enough time to really get in and fully articulate the rigs to feel complete. I mean, I feel like sometimes I see certain, and again, it might be just like the characters and the timing. Like I feel like Duncan and Mike always nailing it. Like I feel like they're always just perfection. I mean, Duncan has so many little movements that are always happening with him. When he's laying back on the chair and he's just supervising them, definitely playing into that Dwight from The Office vibe. Where he's talking about that, okay, fine, I'm not really your superior, I'm your supervisor and all these other things or whatever he says. But like, yeah, just when he leans back and just the way the light's like coming off of his skin and everything, you can feel like the sticky dewiness of him or whatever. It's just, yeah.
The new characters are definitely more fluid with their movements.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, yeah, it all just depends. I think it's really the time. So John's saying the last episode will come out September 10th.
That's our anniversary.
Hey! Wait. No, not that one.
No, my
God. I don't know what year anniversary, but one of them.
Ooh,
you know?
16?
Oh.
I'm sorry, Julie. I thought he was going to be like, me neither.
No, he knew.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Let's
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 16.
Is it right?
Yeah. Yeah, 16.
Bam, 16 right off the top.
That's not my strong suit.
No, it is. So then yeah, you get the kicking the soccer ball out, which bangs off of something and essentially locks the door out. So now they get stuck in the room. Cuts back to the baseball game, and you've got the I love the Mike and Sulley domesticated argument.
I love that in any film or any movie, any show, when it's just like the two that aren't domesticated together.
Yeah, they're playing like husband and wife partners,
but they're playing partners, and I just love that. Yeah. They're partners, but not part. It's so
and it
funny.
feels so at home with them.
Yeah,
Mike and Sulley to be doing that. You're like, they would be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole like, how about you cook? How hard is it that we have a home cooked meal? Like, it's just so ridiculous.
I love that,
and I love that the Red Sox fan just kind of looking down at him like, ugh.
Yeah.
Have your fight somewhere else, kids.
Yeah.
Oh. John,
September
15th. Well, there goes the anniversary gift. So, no problem, John. I'm just messing with you. I'll give you one of those. So, okay, the parents come in the room. What did you guys think of this gag when, like, the parents actually come in and Tylor's in the blanket?
Not
like
Tylor.
Duncan. Yeah,
Duncan. That was so creepy. That was when he's like, I don't know. That was just weird. And then I thought they were going to be like, what the heck? But they were like, oh my gosh, her first words. I was like, What?
Yeah, you guys are lucky that these parents are that oblivious.
Yeah. And they're like her first words when he's like, "Oh, hello, parental units." Like,
I'm just tired, parents.
yes.
But then they threw in that co-sleeping line, and I was like, "Oh, what?"
That year of co-sleeping.
Yeah. So the dad gives himself a big hearty pat on the back. I told you that a year of co-sleeping would be good. Best dad ever. Like he says that as they're walking out. Like this show, it has a lot of those one-liners that you expect.
And I heard them all
from the Monsters world.
But the dialogue flowed really awesome.
Yes.
I heard all of these like awesome one-liners.
Yeah, we talked about it in the first episode. Like, in fact, I mentioned it to you guys when we were hanging out last weekend. Like, I turned on the closed captions, and that's when I started to get all like the little lines. This one, I didn't necessarily have to do that to pick up all those one-liners that were just firing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy! Now it's September 2nd. I guess we'll have to just.
Well, September 3rd is our other anniversary.
It's yeah, we started dating on September 3rd. It's getting closer again. It's gonna keep bouncing around.
That's even longer.
So then you get that. You get the moment where like Mike's finally gonna fight him, and the balls knock out the Red Sox fan. And Sulley, did you do that? I love that they even changed the stitching on the baseballs.
I do too.
There's a cool extra design feature to really have that one in there. And then they get to the that Val moment. And you get the why does it matter? Why are you this way to me? Why are you so remember? And then she gets her little moment, and then we finally get after they get out, and Cutter comes back. Door's locked up. That can't be good. Click. Great. And really go back and listen, like for anybody that wants to crack up, listen to her like vocal timbre when she says that. It is so perfectly under her breath yet not. Like that's a hard line to deliver in terms of when you're reading the lines of dialogue, because it's so like in that in between. It's not big, it's not small, it has to be just right. So that line, like how she delivered it, really stood out. But then, then you get the, like you said, Tylor finally remembers her. You start to get a little bit of that sweetness. She mentions that their favorite candy are hot snots, which were in the vending machine behind Needleman and Smitty in the episode where Mike drinks the energy drink. So they're in the vending machine back there, so you can see the box there. Oh, and then the song. So Mike's I'm not going to sing you a song.
That was really sweet.
Yeah. Billy Crystal nails the delivery of that song. Like cute words too. So Bob's Ganaway, I think it said in the credits that he wrote the lyrics to that. Oh, really? Yeah. So that was a cool little not going to sing you a song. I was like, really all right.
That felt like Monsters.
Yeah, all right. Ashley, all right.
That was funny.
Yeah. It felt really authentic to Monsters. And Mike, you're right.
This whole episode felt super Monsters to me.
It did, yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys have anything with Snore or the song or anything?
No, just loved it. I think also going back to lighting, I think the lighting there, because there's this lovely glow that's near the crib. So especially in that scene, just that on Mike, I don't know, it's just sort of just beautiful visuals to go along with that song. I think it all kind of just makes that moment great.
Well, now the sun's coming up, the morning's going to happen, and then he leaves her the ball that he caught.
Oh.
The home run record-breaking ball that TJ Clausen hit. Oh, Mike.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. And they reveal where Val gets Duncan's hidden hot snots from. Made me lose my breakfast for a bit. Yeah, because they were under what's his pet's name?
I can't remember.
Roto under Roto's cage.
You're good.
So Celia, I felt like her vocal work. Jennifer Tilly is a little off. Like where she's like, "Oh, Googly Bear," and even when she's like, "You have a wonderful voice," like I was like, "Is that Celia?"
I felt like maybe she didn't have to be in this episode, but she's the floor supervisor, so
yeah, I feel like she had to. I don't know.
Oh, so floor supervisor. We were saying the other day. I was like, "Where's Jerry?" And it makes sense because she's floor. So what? Jerry just got the boot, you're going to scare floor, whatever. Like yeah. I was wondering that the other day. Where
That's
like,
true.
Yeah.
He was the dude with seven fingers, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's on a different lap floor. Maybe there's a different floor supervisor for each one.
Well, yeah, because we've seen the concept art where it shows all those different levels, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that they have all those different ones. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ashley that he's just on a different floor. He got reallocated. They didn't get rid of him.
Yes, right.
He's still there. Maybe he'll show up.
Yeah. I don't know, I've always liked, ever since I've been little, I don't know why Jerry's always stuck there.
We always quote Jerry.
Yeah.
Like, he always comes walking in the room and he's like, we've lost 38 doors this week, so just saying some random Jerry line. Yeah. So we're like, where is he?
Yeah.
He's not even here.
What's another one of Jerry's lines? I like that. We lost 38 doors this week.
Yeah.
What's another good Jerry line?
I don't know. Just all right, people. Oh yeah, when we start something, all right, people.
We start in 7, 6, 5.
Just any of those. Yeah, he's great for such a minor character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know who did his voice. I don't know if it was like a throwaway somebody or somebody that was. Yeah, we do have to look that up. Oh,
I'm looking up right now. Hold on,
Brendan. Maybe Jerry's the receptionist.
Oh, jeez, they were just like everybody switched roles.
Yeah, he just says, "Welcome to Monsters Inc."
He would be Jerry. He would be a good phone operator.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Cleo Cat. So a couple other Easter eggs. Oh, if you happen to find out who it is, if you guys are looking it up, let us know. So a couple other Easter eggs, hidden things that were out there. So Tylor at his desk, when they get the announcement that there's the call for the damaged room, he's reading a magazine that looks like Better Homes and Gardens, and it's Better Jokes magazine. And then on the back of it, there's an ad. Instead of it being for L'Oreal, it's for L'Oreal. A reptilian formula, so you can get a reptilian texture to your skin. And then Mike, when you're in his office and he's getting the baseball tickets, is reading Slime magazine, and the cover of it says, "An explosive report on Monsters Inc.'s new direction. Goo is in, pies are out." So apparently they have found more laughter success with goo than pies.
That's funny.
And I didn't know this one. So this one, when Sulley says, I even turned on the captions for this one. Oh, here we go. Steve Susskind. Now wait, is Steve Susskind?
That's Jerry.
That's who voices Jerry?
Yeah, we were looking him up, and it says he was in Seinfeld too, TJ. So that's.
Wait, what? Yeah. Look up Steven Susskind for Seinfeld. What role does he play in Seinfeld? Because this will trigger the memories.
Yeah. Numerous small parts. Yeah. No, I don't know. But
is it Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah, he's the chef. That's like, all right, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, he is. I think you've said that
before. Look up Seinfeld and see what role he plays in that. He's got to play a pretty bit role.
He's the guy who eats the
candy bars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's Giovanni. It's the episode where they're in the car. Oh yeah.
She's sitting there on the side, like waiting.
Yeah. Aw, you can involve her. If she meows, I'm fine to hear it.
She wants to eat the headphones.
Oh well.
But
yeah, it's the episode where they're at the car dealership. Jerry's buying the Volvo, and Putty is the dealer, the guy that's selling the car. And so he's the guy that comes in the room and eats the candy bars that George has set up for the steps, for the setup. But
jeez Louise, Riley. Yeah, give me that.
Oh, I love cats.
I know, they're the best. They're so erratic.
Ours is hiding now.
And she's in her spot. It's behind the chair in my office.
Oh.
So Brian mentioned it. The most surprising Easter egg was the plush in Snore's room of Angel, the character from Lilo and Stitch. There's Mickey Mouse ears and a glove hand in one of the baby's toys. So yeah, right before the parents come in, it's one of those stackable toys that keeps going to the top, and it's got like that cool Mickey glove that's like on the bottom of it with the ball and the ears on top. Oh no, I don't want no. So we got the Mickey stacking toy. This is what I was going to say. So the part where Sulley says he gets the tickets, it says in the closed captions that Rant gave him the tickets.
Yeah, but it's Ramp, right? The scare / laugher.
So that is, I was like, is this a Joe Rampt like Easter egg?
That's what we thought it was.
I
didn't even see the captions.
So I went back and listened to it a bunch of times. It's hard if you're saying it quickly to hear like Rampt to get the N in there, but it does kind of sound like he just says like, the Rant gave us the tickets, but I really hope it's Rampt. Because in the closed caption it just says RANT. So I'm hoping that is the case. Because if that's the case, to get a nice Easter egg to Joe Rampt in there would be awesome. One of the early Pixar employees, worked on a bunch.
And then Ramp's the scare, the big red one, no mouth. Those two
eyebrows.
Well, only the few eyes, because then there's that other big guy who we saw in the first episode.
Right.
Because there's two big guys. Yeah.
I was thinking of Bob
the one who
Gunderson.
puts all the eyes in.
No.
Different. Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah. So Cleo, there is a reference to Boo. We got the Mickey stacking toy. We talked about that. I mentioned the pneumatic tubes. Lighting was better. Oh, I like the fact that there's a good teaser to Mike singing the song to Snore at the end, because when he first goes to get her out of the great way to get the carrier too from Needleman and Smitty. But yeah, right when he goes to pick her up, you hear the first few notes of "I'm not going to sing you a song." So it's like the precursor to that's like Snore's theme and the songs. Ear. So that was cool. That was cool to hear.
That was also another great Mike moment. I don't know why, that little him walking over and grabbing it.
Yes.
That was also very Mike. When he's walking, he grabs it, then he goes, watch it, and goes in the door.
Yes.
That was all 10 out of 10.
Yeah. How he moved, how he talked, how he acted. Yeah.
That was a great little moment.
I mean, it's hard to get Mike right, but it seems to be coming together for him by far. I mean, leaps and bounds. Not that the others are bad. It's just that Mike is so good on all accounts. Yeah.
It's like this episode was like a prime example of like why getting like Billy and John was like probably so pivotal to making this work, because like you watch those scenes of them sitting at the baseball game and you're like, would this be as like hitting? It would be hitting a lot differently if it wasn't them, just like having these riffs back and forth.
Oh, I need the rim shot. I need the rim shot sound effect now. It wouldn't be hitting as much at the baseball game. Yeah. Oh, Gio. You tee him up whether you know you do or not.
Yeah. No.
So also just something else that I noticed, I paused it on the paint can. When they're painting the wall after they've patched it all up and everything, it says that the paint is human safe and that it is an eggshell finish, and the color is called Scarily There.
Oh, I love it.
Wow.
Instead of like barely there, it's scarily there. And yes, so Brian, you can tell this is Billy Crystal's favorite character to play. He gives it his all every line. Absolutely he does. So before we just give the preview of episode 4, as far as, just what we're going to be expecting in it and talk about it for a second, anything else from this particular episode that we want to touch on, elements that you guys noticed or in the chat?
I just really liked this episode, like a ton. Like I want to like rewatch it a couple more times and
yeah. Peter said, I like the Water News wainscoting. Yeah. Oh, okay. we didn't talk about the Mike's comedy class bit.
Oh, yeah.
So with the whoopee cushion, I thought it was something else, but it's a whoopee cushion. What's interesting, though, and it's got to be because of copyright stuff. If you look at the instruction manual, when he pulls it out after he throws it up on the stool, and so perfect that he's got a stool to teach his class, because it just goes along with like the comedy vibe, the mic and the stool. But yeah, so it says whoopee cushion on the instruction manual, but he very specifically says whoopee cushion. It's got to be a copyright thing that they can't say it, or they'd have to pay for it or something.
Oh, probably.
Because I bet that's probably the brand. Oh, the deleted. Yes, Brendan queuing us up as well. So let's finish the comedy class bit, and then we'll come back to the deleted scene. Was there anything else from the comedy bit? Yeah, so Ro had mentioned that they thought they were all going to be kind of musicals. I was sad when this one wasn't, even though we had already gotten a Mike song. I don't know. I'm kind of glad that it's not. I would feel like it would be weird if every time Mike was teaching class as a song. Like, I don't know what the tie-in would be to comedy.
I like that they're just like little, like shorty shorts, kind of.
Yeah, it is. But
something that maybe doesn't fit into a story, but you just are like, it's too good to not do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I think they're fun. It's something to look forward to at the end of every episode. That's also something that's great in shows when you've got those little things to look forward to, like the carry-on gags and the running characters that are always coming back and everything. The deleted scene. So that deleted scene that was released on YouTube this week shows Tyler Tuskman at his graduation ceremony at Monsters University, giving his acceptance, or his
graduation.
He was like summa cum laude or something like that. But he's giving his
commencement address.
There you go, his address, and he's saying, all the things to like look forward to and how great he is. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you
know? You know?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. No problem. It wasn't the episode. You're clear.
Yeah.
So what did you think about it? Was that a scene that you feel like could have been in there, or was probably okay to keep out?
I wish they had left it in, because I think one thing I thought was that it was nice to introduce Tyler's parents right away.
Yes.
Because I feel like mom showing up to drop him off probably would have even felt a little more natural. Like, oh, his mom's here now. Like, at least we already saw her. So I thought that maybe having that scene, and also just it would be fun just to, I don't know, just to really show how blindsided Tyler was when he arrives at Monsters, and he's like, what? Like, I gave this whole speech. I'm like, this was everything to me. Like, yeah, it just sort of just, takes him out of it even more when he realizes there's no scaring.
Yeah. And
so, I'm surprised they cut it.
Okay, so I have a thought on that I put in the forum, but what are your thoughts on it? Or actually, did you like it? Do you wish it would have stayed in? And then also, who voices the dad?
Well, I know who voices the dad, but I have not had a chance to view it myself.
Oh, really?
No. So I am with Ashley, and no, I did not.
Okay,
watch
no
yet.
problem. No
I know
problem.
who voices the dad too, by the way.
Yes.
So I know that much. But
all right.
So the girls are on that.
So who is it? Who is it?
It's John Ratzenberger.
Yeah. And they're all proud of him. He's all like, "Oh, hey, buddy boy."
I mean, you and I talked about, so I feel like I've seen it just because you and I, like, you talked to me about it.
Right. And
I was listening to you.
Yeah. And I listened to you. I'm going to what I had wrote. Oh, well, I got to edit my post the way I wrote it, because I write very quickly on the forum. So I was going to say I assumed that it was cut, because they probably received feedback that the show might have been moving too slowly at the beginning once the entire episode was viewed in full, because Pixar's biggest fan in the forum said, I wonder why it was cut since it was fully animated and lit. So that's where I was coming up with that. I said I liked the scene, but I'm not sure where it would have fit in. The opening going into the simulated kids room was a great way to see Tyler scaring right away and to show that he was like top scare. Then once Professor Knight tells him he's in at Monsters Incorporated, it's a great spot to kick into the intro, and then go to the old gang right inside Monsters Incorporated. I feel like if they said you're in at Monsters Incorporated, and then they cut to his graduation speech, it's like, is it like it's too slow? Were they maybe concerned they needed to get to the old, like, to see Mike and Sulley quickly to establish that this is not just about the old? I don't know. I liked the scene. I think that it just maybe slowed it. Like, you're in. That's a great rip cut right to the intro music. And
it almost feels like an alternate opening, like that it would be not even, they'd pick one or the other, if anything.
You're right. It's probably, that might have been what it was too, instead of having to cut the two together like I was thinking. It could have just been that was an opening. I was surprised to see a fully animated seamless deleted. There's no restrictions on streaming runtime. That's why I think it was either an alternate, or if it was both, they were feeling like it was kind of dragging a little too much before they could get to the main plot. Like how much do you need to dive in that you already know he's the best scarer from Professor Knight. We find out later that Sulley referred him. So but I'm glad they released it because now you get that extra context. I'm wondering where it could have been though. That probably was a big discussion and a lot of talks as far as what do we do with this scene? It's done. Do we put it here? Is it opening A or B, or do we put them both? Because that was tricky. It, like you said, Giovanni, it expands the world more, but slows it down a little. I don't know. I think it'd be really effective to see a flashback to Tylor and Val at MU. That could be cool in an episode if they start to explore, like, them hanging out a little bit more. Do you think the show will have flashbacks or flash forwards at all?
No, I don't. I mean, I'd like to see a flashback, but I don't think it will.
What do you guys think?
I don't know. So it's up in the air. Yeah, it could be, if anything, maybe like a cutaway gag to something that happened in the past, but I don't know if they'll do full. Yeah. Because I feel like something like a television stories are like, you maybe want to see like a cut and gag like that in a movie, but in television they fit perfectly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, lots of comedies do that with like the whole little shoop, shoop. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so as we wrap it up, I think that's good that we talked about the deleted scene that we forgot about. So thank you for reminding us in the chat, and then also the comedy class. So the next Thursday, 10 p.m., what we're going to be talking about is episode 4 called The Big Wazowskis. And again, that is called, the synopsis is, hoping to get in good with Mike, Tylor signs MIFT up to be on Mike's bowling team for the annual Monsters, Inc. Bowl-Off-a-thon, only to discover that everyone at MIFT stinks at bowling. So definitely a good setup for lots of hijinks. We already saw that this is the episode, at least I'm going to presume, that Gary Gibbs is coming in.
Yep.
And from talking to Dominic Lewis, which you guys will hear on the podcast, be sure to listen to it. You can listen to it prior to episode 4 because we'll have the podcast out before that. According to Julie, she said it here first.
We have to bring it back.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
It's coming back. It's been a year.
It's been more than a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, he talked about that a little bit, and he's like, has the description for that episode been out yet? Because I don't know what I can say and what I can't. The soundtrack has quite a few songs from that in it. So episode 4, you're going to hear a lot of really cool songs in, and they take a different twist. Originally, he was asked, maybe do kind of like a 50s kind of like bowling alley, diner, soda shop kind of vibe. But Dominic came back with a completely different vibe that was put forward. So if you listen to the soundtrack, you will get a sense for those songs.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he's like, I can talk about it because that was announced. Oh yeah. So Bob's Ganaway said in D23 2019 that there has to be a joke with Mike being the bowling ball. And then again, I was the ball.
Of course I was a ball. I was a ball. Okay.
And the kid. Oh, that's the That's the wasn't a confirmation but strongly implied. Okay, yes, perfect. And really excited for next week's episode. Do we have any news for episode 5? No, nothing yet. I think Brendan might have been talking about that a little bit last time, was saying when are we going to get news on the future episodes, and gosh, as far as like time frame to get that announced, if the episode's the 22nd, and if they are going, or the 21st, if they are going to put another episode out on the 28th, they could announce Disney Plus could announce what's coming in August, and they would probably do that right at the beginning of that week or the 23rd. So I would say if Disney Plus usually announces what's coming the following month, it'll probably be late next week. So probably right before. Yeah, we got it right there. I was the ball. I kind of want Johnny Worthington back. We'll have to talk about that coming up in another episode too, as far as like what other MU people might we like to see coming up. Oh, Brendan, there it is. Today they announced episodes 6 through 9, but nothing on 5. Oh, interesting. Oh, somebody just gave us a thumbs down that we're ending. They gave us a thumbs down that we're ending. But yeah, so they announced 6 to 9. I didn't see that today, so thank you for bringing that up. I know, Brendan, you're always on top of it, so thanks for letting us know. We're going to go explore and dig on that. But that's weird that there's nothing on emails. 5. So anyways, any last thoughts that you guys have? Julie as well?
No.
Okay.
No, just amazing episode.
It
was great. I feel like we'll watch it again and again, and there's lines from this one that'll fall into the monsters quoting circulation that we have in our daily lives.
Pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah.
So now we got more.
Brendan is just gonna slap me right in the face. I put it in the forum earlier. Right on your own website, you idiot.
Yeah, Brendan is on it.
I know you're not saying it that way, Brendan. Thank you. It was a busy day. So yeah, if we can get any of those, that would be great. We'll talk about the MU characters in the future. All right, thank you again, everybody, for jumping in and chatting with us for episode 3. Be sure to stay tuned to PixarPost.com all week for the latest news, and listen in to the latest episode of the Pixar Post podcast coming up next week. And see you next Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific for another episode of discussing the Monsters at Work Disney Plus television series. Can I drag it out longer? All right. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.